Hello, everyone. This is Adam Parker, the founder of the Detox Blueprint program. I'm really excited. We've got another client success interview with Lauren, and this one is fantastic. It's been an absolute pleasure working with her over the last 4 to 5 months. Lauren was able to go from really being in a place of poor digestion, this kind of low-grade anxiety, to today, much improved gut motility, more energy than ever, and the anxiety really just tapering off. So they joined us today to jump in and talk about their story. Thanks for coming on, Lauren.
Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
So let's start with your story. So tell us, who are you and what do you do?
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm an art psychotherapist. I've got 2 young children. And I joined the program with the hope of improving my health.
So I really was happy when you joined the program, Lauren. I remember when we spoke and just where you kind of were coming from. You were coming from a long journey of going through different health modalities, a lot of visits to the doctor, and you were kind of, the energy I got, you were really out of options. You were like, right, I'm kind of hoping this thing works, this detox program that you'd found. So, talk about what were the biggest challenges holding you back with your health, and how long had that journey been going on for?
So I've had poor digestion since my teens, so over 20 years. And it just continued to get worse and worse throughout time. I'd had various hormone conditions, polycystic ovaries, Hashimoto's hypothyroidism. And then in recent years, I'd got more anxiety, particularly in the mornings. And I felt like my energy was just not consistent. And I sort of always just came back to the same issues, really. Like supplements and things would improve things for a bit, but I'd be back to square one.
So it sounds like you were in this loop of, supplement stacks and trying things. And here's the thing, some things do move the needle a little bit, right? I'm not here to say that nothing else works. There are things that do help, but is it enough to actually make a real difference?
Well, no. And then when I started your program, actually things did start to really shift. And now I look back and I think, well, if I hadn't got all this out of me, I was never actually going to get better. I think it was getting the mucoid plaque out, doing the liver flushes and getting huge release of stones, learning how to do regular coffee enemas, that then I started to really see the shift, and unexpected shifts, like my energy is just so much higher and so much more balanced. My mood is like incredibly good, like really, really consistent, which I'd never previously had. So yeah, I got outcomes that I wasn't actually expecting.
I really enjoyed seeing your transformation, Lauren. I don't think I've ever seen someone post so many images of the things that are coming out of you, right? And that was amazing because it's like, it's evidence of when we clean up the terrain, what can happen. Because, I love you to give me feedback on, oh, wow, I feel less anxious. And you kind of give me like this kind of running dialogue of all the small changes that you were seeing over time alongside everything that was kind of being released from you. So it was a lovely journey to kind of see you kind of progressively raise an awareness of, oh wow, things are changing, and it was lovely to see, because I could tell you'd been on a long journey and a frustrating one.
Yeah, and now I look back and I'm like, I had all those parasites in me. I kind of had this feeling that I had anxiety, but it wasn't coming from my head; it was coming from my body, and that it was dysregulating my nervous system. And now I look back and I see what's come out of me, and I'm like, basically would never have been able to fix it had I not have released all those parasites, because they were affecting my nervous system, my anxiety. And it's like quite interesting, the knock-on effect that having a parasitic load has on your mental health and how you feel.
And I think we kind of mentioned that, I think I mentioned this in the Q&A. I was like, before you release a parasite, there's this kind of, you feel a bit nervy, you're not too sure what's going on, a bit, kind of the anxiety kind of increases, and you're like, what's going on? I don't feel, this is a bit odd. Have the release, you kind of look in the toilet and you're like, wow. And then then you having that kind of breakthrough, I think a couple of weeks or days later was great to hear.
Yeah, this was the strange thing that me and everyone on the course, we were saying, before the parasites release, it affects how you feel mentally. And I did not know there was such a connection before. So yeah, and I think also the amazing thing about the course is I thought it was a 4-month course that I was going to do and that'd be that. But actually I've learned skills for life. Like it is like a training for life, really, because now it's like I'm never going back to not doing regular coffee enemas. I'm not going back to not doing like a yearly gut cleanse, like parasite cleanses. They're just going to be part of my schedule now. Liver flushing, because I've basically learned the skills and they're for life now.
there are many options out there. And obviously, I think I'm pretty sure you came across me on Instagram. Why did you choose to work with me specifically over others? What stood out to you?
I think it was because I saw you speak at the Health Optimization Summit and you'd had the lived experience. You basically described like constant gut issues, which is what I had. And I think it's only when you know somebody has had that really consistent, constant gut issues, and then they genuinely say they've improved it, that you want to work with them. Because I don't think people understand, unless they have experienced constant gut issues for literally years and years and years, what it's like. And, you know, yeah, you can take more probiotics, you can take fermented foods, etc., but you can't do that. You need more than that. And I think I knew that basically you had the answers for more than that. And I also think you spoke about the toxic load and how that creates so many symptoms. And I was like, well, I've got half this list of symptoms that he's talking about. So I've obviously got a high toxic load. And then you started speaking about binders, and that really spoke to me because I was like, well, we should all be taking binders all the time, surely. But I did not know how to do that safely. So, yeah.
We had many people join the program from that talk. And it's so powerful because just think you decided not to go to that talk, or you didn't, oh no, I can't go to that summit, and you wouldn't have come across my work. Well, maybe you would have eventually. And it's beautiful that those moments of decision can absolutely change the course of your life, right? You took action, you went, you resonated, and then you move forward, and now you're in the position where you've learned all these skills, as you said, and you've got these skills, all these tools for life to keep you in robust health.
Yeah, and I think like there's not enough people showing like mucoid plaque, which we've now all got, and the link between them and toxins, and the link between that and then like your anxiety. And as people this just isn't well enough known, because once you see that we've probably all got these mucoid plaques in us, that there's quite a simple way to get them out. It just feels like I need to do this because my gut won't improve till it's out.
So I'm curious, what was the most powerful part of the program for you?
Potentially my first liver flush, because I just got like so much out, and then I just felt on such a high after, and I was like, okay, liver is obviously the answer. And you'd said like repeatedly, like liver affects digestion, we need to like improve bile flow. But I think it was doing the first liver flush and realizing like, until you get all that out, like how are you going to feel better?
Yeah, the liver is powerful. And as you know, going through the process, there's never one thing. There's multiple moving pieces. And some people have insane results with colon cleansing, some with parasites, some with liver. And there's always, between those three, it's normally one of them is like the kind of the moment is like, wow, this is transformational. And for you, it was the liver.
Well, it was the liver, I suppose, but also seeing all those parasites, I was obviously like, well, that's pretty huge to have got all those out. But then I think it's also just the understanding that the energy work is so important, and understanding that alongside all of this, we can't do this at a low vibration, and starting to tune into what we vibrate at and what our frequency does and how that affects us, and learning about the quantum upgrade and all of those things. Like it's the whole package really.
And that's the thing, like obviously, my marketing and my positioning as a detox coach, but I would say, and obviously it's my biased opinion, but I think there's so much more than detox within my program, because there isn't just one thing. It's not just, just detox and everything be fine. No. You got to have, there's different pillars to health, nutrition, community. I think detox is something we don't look at. And as you said, the energy healing side of things. And I love, again, you took action, you listened to the podcast of me and the quantum upgrade. And then I remember again, just these lovely messages you'd send me of these kind of downloads of, oh my God, I really feel it.
I could feel it immediately. But I also think community, that's the other thing. We've had a really great community. I'm so grateful to everyone that I've done the course alongside. There's just been a really great group. And I think like the encouragement of the Q&As and everyone supporting each other, everyone sharing pictures, and knowing that everybody else has come from a similar journey where they weren't getting the answers, they weren't getting the results, they've been dismissed by health professionals, means that you sort of bond quite quickly because you've come from a place and you're all getting to a similar place.
Yeah, because it's a lonely road, right? Like you've only got so much bandwidth with your partner, and I remember most of my friends just didn't get it. The funny thing is, now I do this for a living. Still, most of my friends don't get it, and they're like, "Oh, you do this random thing, and you put random images on Instagram," because it's like you get the more work you do, you just go down these rabbit holes, and it's, as you said, it's lovely to have other people that are all in the same boat, doing the same thing. And I just love putting people together and, matchmaking and, friends coming out of the experience.
I know, I've literally made friends. I didn't think I'd be making friends, but I've genuinely made friends. I think it's that when you've had long-term, whatever it's been for people, like anxiety, fatigue, chronic digestion, all of those things, you have them day in, day out. And when you can't shift them, like, you don't want to bore people in your life with them. Like, people don't need to know that, yeah, your gut is still bad. 10 years on, you can't do this. And yeah, you've increased your list of food that you're intolerant to. Like, and you don't want to talk about it because it's not very interesting for the majority of people to hear about. So yeah, it does become like a lonely place, and you just sort of put up with it and forget about it. And then, yeah, realize when you go on holiday that you're not enjoying yourself because your gut's bad, you know?
I just reflect on my journey. When you heal those things, you just end up in, like, the gratitude is so personified. It's like, oh my God, I figured it out. It's not a problem anymore. You know, exactly. I just remember like sitting in this, like, wow, this is my new reality now.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's so true. And that's why this course is incredible, because it's like a toolbook for life.
So what changes have you noticed in your health, and how's that impacted, you know, on your day-to-day life?
So I'd say definitely my energy is so consistent. My mood is just so much more consistent, so much better. My hormones are great. My cycle is really regular. My digestion's made huge progress. It's still a work in progress, but it's been bad for 20 years. So it's going to take a long time to get there, but it has got a phenomenally amount better. And yeah, I feel like I'm just more in control of my energy. Yeah. Like who I am. Yeah.
Again, I just remember these little downloads you'd send me of, you know, I woke up this morning and I don't feel anxious. You know, exactly, you just give me these, and I loved how you interacted with me, because you just give me these constant downloads of this has happened and this has happened, and again, like with the quantum upgrade, oh wow, I just feel great. You know, so it's lovely to see that unraveling for you, just going through this process.
Definitely has, yeah. And I don't think I thought I did not really know what I was embarking on. I definitely didn't think it was going to be quite such as intense journey as it has been, but that's a great thing that it has been.
So looking back, where do you think you'd be today if you hadn't gone and seen me speak at the Health Optimization Summit, you hadn't taken action and joined the program?
I probably would be stuck in the route of trying to fix my gut with probiotics, fermented foods, and meditation, which all help, but without getting all the crap out, basically, getting everything out of it, I would never have made it to where I am now, and I wouldn't be on the route for it getting so much better.
Here's the thing, everything you've just said is 100% relevant, and we talk about it in the program. But, you know, I would say there's not like a couple of siloed things. There's multiple things brought together in a system that moves the needle. Because, you know, I would try things in isolation. Right, fermented foods, I'll try that. Oh, didn't work. Okay, binders, try that. Oh, didn't work. You know, so I think, you know, those things are relevant, but I think you've probably, you know, you've definitely kept them in, but then there's all the other elements that you added in on top.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So if someone's watching this testimonial and their interest is piqued, they're getting a feeling of, okay, keen to know more, what would you say to them?
Go for it. 100% go for it. Once you've done it, you won't look back. You have a toolbook for life. Basically, you acquire skills for life. It's very much the phrase teach a man to fish and give a man a rod, whatever that is.
Yeah.
It's basically
we know that saying. We all know the saying.
You know what I mean? Because, yeah, you can basically then become your own doctor. And I think that's what you don't realize, is that now I'm not reliant on this, that, and the other. I can make my own decisions about my health. I know what I need to do to fix it. And you've got a whole toolkit of coffee enemas, liver flushing, healing, gut cleansing at your fingertips.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you to Lauren for letting me interview her. So thank you. It's been lovely. If you're watching this right now and you're interested in learning more about what we do here at the Detox Blueprint, and you've got any questions about the program, please book a call by clicking the link below provided in this video, and we can have a chat. On the call, we're going to figure out a couple of things. Firstly, what is your health goal? Secondly, what's holding you back in achieving that goal? And finally, getting clear on how to do that. Book your call now before the calendar gets filled up. And thanks again. And thank you, Lauren.
Thank you. Thanks so much. It's been an honor.